Hello Doraemons, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video we have the lastly asked question in an IRA. So like the question was asked in 22nd February because it got rescheduled and you guys know what happened in that day. And we had that question and it was considered as a little bit tough question because I cannot see a lot of solutions and a lot of test cases pass at that time. So I think having this question and explaining you this question would give you a lot more idea about how to solve these type of questions, with more particularly the date, buy and sell, and it is a question related to trading and crypto. So I think this question and how to how to solve it, this would help you guys a lot. And let's get started with this video. And we have the whole list of how the object structure should be. For this time it was very in detail. It is said unique trade ID for each trade of type integer, an amount of type float, name of coins. So we are going to get a list of name of coins and the date of trade and the type of trade as it is buy and sell. So if you know about trading, you know about what is buy and sell. So don't want to get into a lot of that concepts. Let's look into the question just. So how this question is structured is you'll be getting like how many number of inputs structure is going to be passed, and for one structure you'll have the ID, amount, and their name of the coins and the date, and the type as buy or sell. So it's going to be like that. And after this, in the end, you will be given with two values, which one is amount and one is the year. So here we'll be defining two functions. For the first function, the action is you have to get the trade which is done in the year of 2021 and which is of type buy. And if the name of the coins available, like you can see for each object there is 2 to 3 names, and if one of those name is Bitcoin, then it should print the total amount, like the price over here 900 or over here is 13,000. It should add and print the total amount and float. And for the second function, what we'll be doing is we have to get the trades which is greater than this amount. Like as you can see, this 900 will not fall greater than 5,000, and this 13,000 will fall under greater than 55,000. So what will happen over here is you have to get these names, Polygon or Ethereum, the name of the coins, and count like how many names are there. Like for Polygon, as of now we can say it will display like Polygon 1 and Ethereum 1. So I'll show you the sample input and output. As you can see, this is the output of the first function and this is the output of the second function. So you have to get all these names and you have to count how many times it got repeated. So that is how the question is going to be. I think you got a rough idea about the question. I'll share this question in my blog post, and blog post is under maintenance, so it will take some more time to display the things. After sorting out the things, I'll surely put the link in my description. So I think by the time the video goes out, that all will be fixed and you will able to see the link in the description. So make sure you check the description down if you want to practice this question before watching the video. So always try to solve before watching the video, and then only you can explore how much you know and how much you want to learn. So let's get started. You all know our basic structure, which is class, object. So unlike Java we'll be declaring the object part down, and in Python we'll be declaring it in the upper part itself. So let's do that. So we usually call it as class object, and here we'll define the init function def init, and here we'll pass self. And then if you know like what will be passing in this structure, you can even write self dot the name. I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to put ID, amount A, name of the coin, so it's going to be a list, so I'm just going to put YUN, and the date, which is D, and the trade type, which is T. So in the end we can put self dot id is equal to id, and again self dot amount is equal to amount, and self dot name list, or you can just give name, and after that self dot d is equal to d, d is date, and self dot type is equal to type. So now our object class is ready, and what we are going to do after this is we are going to create one more main class where we'll usually do the operations class main, and here also we'll be passing def, like declaring def in it, and in the end you'll put self, and here we'll be having the elist. So let's also pass the elist and declare the elist as well. Yeah, and usually here we'll declare def of fun1, and don't forget the self, and just I'm going to press pass, and again def of fun2 and self, oops, and self, and again pass. Okay, so now what we are going to do after this is we are going to write the main part where we'll get the input. So if name equal to main, here first off we have to declare a list which will pass to the object. So usually I'll name it as flist. If you want you can name it as whatever you want, and then the YUN value where we'll get the number of outputs for which we have to iterate. So for I in range of n, we are going to get the trade ID. So let's go to the input part. There we'll get a lot more idea. So first we have to get the ID. So I'll just give it as I is equal to, no, we should not give I, let it be ID itself, like let it put IDT, and it's going to be an integer int of input, and after this I'm going to get the amount. Amount is equal to AMT. It is of type float, so don't just forget it. Float, okay, float of input, and after that we are going to get the name, which is going to be of type list. So we have to get one more n2 int of input, and again we have to run a loop. So for j in range of YUN2, and we are going to get the name. So I'm just going to put name is equal to input, and we are going to append it. So here we have to create a list 2, so I'm just going to create it as YUN. So this is why I didn't put YUN over here, and we're going to put n dot append of n. Okay, yeah, no, it should not be n because here we used YUN. Let it be n list. So YUN, and here also change it to NL. And after this we are going to get the date, which date is equal to input, and we will be performing some operation over here which I'll be telling you later. So let's just declare the path first, and we are going to put type, which is of type string, so we are going to just put it as input. Now we have to pass all these into the flist to the object. So flist dot append, and here we'll put the object class name, and we'll pass whole of these things, IDT and amount and nlist and date and type. Okay, so now we have a whole lot of the inputs things. Let's declare the object for this main class. Yeah, two more things. We have to get a year and also an amount. So from this you can get clearly like whatever passed over here, what might be the date we are going to only. consider only the year. So what we can do is we have to split these into the date, day and year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put D and yum over here. Yeah, let it be. And below this what I'm going to do is I'm going to do M and Y is equal to, I'm going to map these inputs and convert this into integer, and I'm going to split it based on this slash. So now in the while we will have only the year thing. So let me show you by running it. Let's pass the input first. So int, and you should give date dot split. Oops. Yeah, date dot split, and now let's run it. Yeah, so now we got only the year. So in the function also we are going to just pass the year and not the date entirely. Okay, so now we have a whole lot of things which is required to start our function, and after this in the end we have to get 1 year and also 1 amount. So let's do that quickly. Here I'm going to declare it as year, and I'm going to get it into int input, and we have 1 amount. It is also of type int, and quickly I'm going to declare the object for the main class. Object main, object equal to main, and here we are going to pass the flist, and we are going to call 2 functions, which is fun1 and fun2, like object. Here I'm going to put object dot fun1, and inside it I'm going to pass only the year, and for the second part we are going to get the amount. Object dot fun2 amount. Yeah, so now everything is sorted. Now we'll go to the function 1, and here we'll be getting 1 year. So let's just declare that too. I'm going to just give it as y. And what is the criteria here is we have to print the total amounts when, in the sense we are going to just print it when the type is going to be buy, and one of the name of the coins is Bitcoin, and the trade is done in the year of 2021 or 2022, what is the year passed over here. So let's quickly do that. Let's iterate through the list first. So for I in self dot elist, if, so we can multiply declare the things. If I dot d is equal to y, and if we have to iterate through the name list again, so we'll just leave it right here, and we'll iterate through the name list and then compare it. So for j in I dot n, which is the name list, if j dot, so no, it will not really j dot n. If I dot, wait a minute. So yeah, for the list we are going to get the elements in j itself. So if j dot lower is equal to Bitcoin, and if the type is going to be buy, so which is I dot t is going to be buy. Yeah, here also we have to make it lower, and we go to the end and with the semicolon, like colon, and after this let me just make it a little more. Yeah, so if, then we have to count the total value. So I'm going to put t is equal to 0, and here I'm going to increment the value. So yeah, t t plus is equal to I dot amount. So now this will give us the value. Let's just print it over here itself. So let's print t and let's check what we are getting in output. And okay, so int object has no attribute lower. Oh yeah, it's not the time. So it's a silly mistake, guys. Here I have again given it as t, so it should not be t. Let's change it into some other variable, which is c. Oops. Yeah, now it should run fine, and here also I should make it as c. Okay. Again, yeah, here I didn't change. Yeah, I actually changed it. Okay. Again, a silly mistake, guys. So here instead of name I given as yan. So I changed it, and here we got the output, which is of type float. Now let's jump on to function 2. So here we have to compare, like, yeah, one more thing over here is we have to again, yeah, check if it is by or not, and let's put that too. If I dot t dot lower is equal to y. Now it should work fine. Yeah. So now let's jump on to the second function. Here what we'll do is we have to compare, like, whether the amount is greater than 5,000, and we have to append it to an list, and then again we have to create a dictionary and count how many times each name got repeated. So let's do that. Again we have to iterate for I in self dot elist, and we have to check if I dot amount, which is a, is greater than 5,000, then we have to create an list. What can we name? Okay, let me name it as coin, and here I'm going to just put coin dot append of I dot name, maybe. Okay, we have to again iterate through one more list, I guess. Yeah, so it is, we have the name as a list, so for jni dot yum, and after this only we have to append it to the list. So here we'll just append j, and let's have a look over the coin list. Print coin, and now let's run it. Yeah, so we have got the list, and now we have to convert into a dictionary and then have a count. So it's pretty simple to convert into a dictionary. What we have to do is just iterate through the list and make an empty dictionary with 0 values. So how we can do this is for I in coin, let's create a dictionary over here. So usually I'll name it as ddic, and yeah, so I'm going to ddic of I is equal to 0. So this is how you create an empty list, so that we'll create keys with these names, and the value which is holdover in the place will be 0. And after this again we have to iterate through the list and have a count. So I'll just show you the dictionary. Print ddic and run it. So now we can see Solana is 0 and Cardano is Ethereum, Bitcoin, Polygon, and everything is 0. So now we have to again iterate through this coin list. So for I in coin, ddic of I is plus equal to 1, and after this we'll have a perfect dictionary of items. Let me print and show you. Print ddic, and run. So now when I run, you can see it has beautifully made a dictionary for us by counting each of the values. So now the only thing is we have to iterate the DREC and print it one by one. Let's do it. So for I in DREC, we are going to print the J, and it should be with a space. Let's do that also. Put a comma and then let's put a space, and then here over here DREC of J to print the values. And now let's run it. Okay, so here I put in it as I. Let's put it as J. Yeah, as exactly. And one thing over here is we have to, I think, sort it in an ascending order of this. So again we are going to use sorted command, which we usually use. So let's do that also. Here I'm going to put DREC is equal to dict of sorted, and here I'm going to put DREC dot items. If you have been following my videos, you know this. And key is equal to lambda of x. Let's do x of 0. If we give x of 0, it will sort it based on these values, which is, you can see as key values, and this is if you give x of 1, it will be sorted based on these values. So now let's run and see whether it got arranged. Yeah, perfect. So it got arranged perfectly like this, and yeah, it's the output. I think we have one more case too, where we didn't find any of these amount which is greater than 500. So on that case, we can, what you can do is, here we are going to do if dict. So if the dict doesn't have any value, then it will not print anything. If DREC, I'm going to print the list, else I'm not going to print the list. So let's put it under this, and in this place let's put else print no coin found with given criteria. Yes, so now let's run once again. It goes perfect. Now I'm just going to change this amount to 25,000. Oops, here I've just given us 5,000. I have to change it into K. Yeah, so now let's run it, and it goes perfect. So yeah, here some values will be changed, but I didn't change the whole lot things. Only I have changed the amount to show you this output, and if you paste this output, it would give you the same amount over here. So just change it the amount which is given over here, and we got this output. The whole entire thing should be changed to get exactly this amount. So you can try it by yourself, and yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. And this was a little bit tough question. We learned two things over here. If you're given a date, and if you want to separate the date, month and year separately, you can use this date.split. And if you want to create a dictionary of items to find the number of elements which is got repeated, we also gone through that thing over here. So if you have any other method to like create a dictionary, this is my way which I explored for myself. I found this to be easier than any other like complicated syntax, and it won't consume a lot of time like other built-in functions. So I think this would be more feasible way, and that's my suggestion. If you have any more ways to do it with the less time complexity, you can put that in the comments. I'll pin it out so that others who learn can also learn. Let's share and let's learn to it together. And if you found this video helpful, please consider hitting that like button and comment down what are your thoughts about this question. And if you have faced this question or this type of question in IRA, just comment down how you sorted it out, or did you find anything different from this type of question. Please, you can send me the question so that I can put it in a video and let other people also know. So yeah, That's it for this video. I'll meet you guys in the next one, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting all the questions and solutions before the exam. I don't know the exact date and time it will be going out, but I'll be definitely posting it. So not to miss that video, you have to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. So let's stay connected, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye bye. Keep learning and keep rocking. Peace out. Bye.